We're in a car. We're on the way to Ross's Oonagh Yarn Company for the open studio day. Bert is driving. We're in a traffic jam. It's no fun. First went to Antwerp and we had sushi for lunch, and I picked on my Necron, this Trazen. I think he's called Trazen the Infinite, but I'm not sure. But he's like the weird collector guy. He always gives me Mark the Collector vibes from the Nightside books. But also I entered my Ork for the painting competition. I will have a clip of my Ork up here. My defense, that was the first miniature I painted in like 10 years, and also I improvised with what I had paint-wise. I have more paints now. Paints. Are they in this bag or another one? I have one paint. I have more paints, but anyhow, we're on the road. Don't mind me and Mr. Pettibone, but I thought it would be fun if I put like a little section in every video, and starting now, where I teach you guys a knitting term in Dutch. So let's start with the basics. Garter stitch we call ribbelsteek. Fun, right? Ribbelsteek. It basically is like rib stitch. Ribbels is like, well, ribs, like literally this, like bumps. But yeah, so that's what we call garter stitch, and yeah, I thought that would be like fun. If you feel my pronunciation is a bit weird, that's because I'm Flemish. I'm from Belgium, so I speak, well, from Belgium, I am Belgian, but yeah, I speak Flemish Dutch, which is a different accent than Dutch. So yeah, also in Flanders there's loads of different accents, but I'm from the Antwerp province, so my accent is, well, I have an accent, but not like the super Antwerp accent, so my Flemish is quite flat, so to speak. So yeah, ribbelsteek. I've just finished this shawl, and this guy, Joop, has already stolen it. Look at him. How can I be mad? How can I ever take it back? He's made a shawl nest. Silly kitty. I had to buy Crocs. I'm so upset. I'm really annoyed by this. See that brace? That ankle brace? That makes my foot essentially too wide to fit into any of my other shoes or my sandals. And it's summer, so out of sheer misery, I decided to buy Crocs. But I have very narrow feet, so I had to get the clogs so I can wear this one like this. Otherwise I would have gotten like slides or something. But alas, because, you know, because that one I have to wear like this, because otherwise it won't fit and it'll stay on. But this one I have to wear like this because sigh, damn ligaments. But also I got these because, come on you guys, if I'm forced to wear Crocs, I'm at least gonna get Monsters Inc ones. I mean, look at how amazing these are. Sully ones. They've even got his little, it's gonna be upside down, I'll turn the camera. They even got his little Monsters Inc ID. I mean, how fun are these? So yeah, I got these as well. Probably won't wear them outside because fake fur and the weather are not friends. Also, the fur's quite long. It doesn't quite touch the ground, but I can imagine that if I went into the yard and stuff, I'd just wreck them. But I love them, and I'm gonna put them in my collection. I saw these ages ago, and I was like, no, I refuse. They are Crocs. I do not want Crocs. But yeah, now, out of necessity, I have to. Alas. Alas! I feel like this is karma for just like being mean about Crocs. Not about people wearing Crocs, because frankly, you do you. And I now have to, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But just like ridiculing Crocs with my friend Mel all the time. I feel like this is my punishment. Oh well. Joop is cute though. It's been a complete another week of chaos as usual, and now I am left to try and puzzle it all back together. So last Saturday, which was the fourth, fifth, first Saturday of the month. So as you saw, I have actually attempted to film, and I managed to film somewhat in the car, and then I got there and I filmed some little clips, which you can see. And then I didn't film much more because I didn't want to film people that were just knitting and crocheting and talking, because that seemed very invasive. But I did buy things at Ross's Open Studio Day. I bought 2 skeins of hyacinth boucle, which is 100% merino, and obviously it's a boucle. Look how beautiful this is. Joop's been patrolling over there because he's convinced that all hyacinth boucle is his, and he loves green things. I don't know, do cats actually like see everything as green? I'm not sure. But this is 80% superwash extra fine merino and 20% nylon. It's 100 grams, but 600 meters. So I have 1200 meters in total. And the colorway of this is Ents, which is also fun because I love Ents. As in the Lord of the Rings characters. But yeah, so first I thought I'm gonna knit a ghost sweater out of it. But now I'm thinking that maybe if I have enough yarn, I need to look it up on Ravelry. But if I have enough yarn, I want to knit the pottery slipover out of this. I think that would be really, really fun. And you can knit this on its own. But look at the colors on this. That super warm, dark brown and all the greens. Isn't this gorgeous? And I hope my camera's actually showing it properly because the lighting's been shit. As usual. I really need to sort out the studio lighting situation, but I mean, this YouTube channel isn't monetized, and that sounds like a lot of money I need for other things, so potentially it will never get solved. But yeah, maybe it will, maybe it won't. And then I got these stitch markers by Delusional Duck. Look how fun. It's like all like cups and rainbow cake and a spoon. I don't think the spoon's like showing properly, but you get the idea. It's a spoon and a teapot and like a milk jug. How fun. I could not resist. I had to have these. And if you hear cats scream, yeah, they're upset because they cannot have my knitting or my things. And also, for those curious, this is how my ork ended up. Because when I went to the shop to have it photographed for the Antwerp team painting competition, I bought a little pot of dark matte brown and I repainted the power claw, because the idea is that because it's Antwerp team, he has a chocolate coated power claw, because Antwerp's handjes are like these little chocolate hands, and it's because of the legend of Brabo and Antigone. So yeah, Brabo, you can see Brabo on the Grote Markt, like the big square at City Hall. It's like this giant fountain of this guy throwing a giant's hand, and that is Brabo throwing the giant Antigone's hand. So Antwerp's handjes is a thing. And I'm not sure if it's still there, but the actual like this giant hand statue used to be sort of right outside Primark, Panos, that area on the Mer. But it's been gone and I'm not sure if it's back. Because I don't really pay attention to that area because it's usually just very chaotic and busy. And I'm not a habitual Primark goer. I only go when I actually need to be in there for things like tea towels. But yeah, so he has a chocolate power claw, chocolate handjes, and then he has the colors of Antwerp, red and white on his, like war paint on his biceps. And then, of course, this is very punny. This is the Antwaag. I'm not sure how well that shows up. I'm trying. And yeah, so orks have like this war thing. They love to fight and they go on wars. This is Space Ork. And yeah, so, and it's a wah, you know? And it's written literally like W3A's GH. So I made it the Antwaag ork. So if I ever play orks in 40k, this is literally my Warboss. I'm going to leave him like this. And also because I had dark brown, so he's now standing in a pool of molten chocolate. Complete and utter chaos. And I can paint better than this, but I don't have a lot of paint, so I completely improvised with what I had. And what I had, put this aside so it doesn't fall, like end up in several pieces. And what I had was a lot of metals. A lot of metals. I think I have 6 different colors in metal. And that's all just like brass and bronze and metallic brown and coppers. So that was not a lot of variety. And I only had a couple of greens. And I even ended up using some of my Delarauni and Sennelier inks, my acrylic inks. They work as a wash. So if you paint miniatures and you don't want to buy washes, or you want like a lot, and a pot that doesn't, I don't know if the washes actually dry out, because I've got some old Games Workshop inks and they're still fine. But anyway, if you want like a lot, like a bigger jar like this, the acrylic inks works just as well. But yeah, so basically every participant got a pin badge, and it's just one pin post. But yeah, I got the Ultramarine Chaplain, and the other one was some kind of knight. I can't remember, but this one was the coolest one. So in my eyes, regardless of how I end up in the actual competition ranking, I've already won because I got a pin. Literally. Well, I was very motivated because it says you get a badge. I was like, oh cool, I get a badge. And I had that guy from my Black Reach box. So I basically went with what I had and didn't buy anything for it for the competition. And also, if anybody is wondering, the Antwerp, they're beads that you use for like friendship bracelets. So that's what I used. And copious amounts of glue gun glue. But yeah, so I was just also, I was nagging in the shop several times past couple of months that there should be painting competitions, so I felt like that I kind of had to participate now. There was another one, high contrast and dry brush, but I didn't want to participate because I, honest to God, don't have enough colors to pull that one off, and also I don't have brushes to dry brush with. I only have like the fine dry brush, the small one, so I don't know, I feel like maybe I need more brushes. Also, I didn't have a fine detail brush for that because I am one of those people who will paint with a 3/0 and a 10/0 and other like fine brushes, like literally as many hairs as your eyelashes. So ridiculous thinness. So I also didn't even have the brushes I wanted, but I'm still quite pleased with how this turned out. I mean, like, I'm not embarrassed about entering this at all because it came out quite well. Also, I put in copious amounts of Cellier, so it's like, it looks kind of rusty, but it's like rust with dried blood. Well, kind of fresh blood. It's clearly been impaling things. It's a Space Ork. But yeah, so Space Ork Warboss Antwerp. Don't fall, don't fall. I thought he was gonna fall down. Jesus. But yeah, so on to the actual knitting, because I feel like, I mean, I mentioned that I went and that I participated in a painting competition, so I feel like I should at least mention it some more. I've actually finished a whole shawl, and it's full of cat hair because initially Joop was like, aha, a finished shawl, so that is now mine, right? And I was like, dude, no. But yeah, I knit a shawl. I don't know how far I'm managing this in the frame, but yeah, it's in the colors of the Disability Pride / Right for People with Disabilities flag. So that's what I did. And this is knit on 3.75mm needles with Hobie, what is it, Friends cotton, I believe. I don't think it's rainbow cotton. Yeah, I will have it up on screen if I got it wrong. And yeah, it's like a very loose knit, but that seems good in summer, even with cotton. And yeah, I got like, what is it, 5 colors. I will say I used up, for this first section, I used up about, I would say, 60% of a skein, and then the other 40% I knit up in the bottom as well. Because this is as wide as 3 of the colored stripes. Every colored stripe is 10 rows. So that way I would make sure that they were all like the same length, because this flag is like very suitable to striping. And the pattern I used was, I'm thinking, it is Muse 2320's Victory Garden Kerchief, and the designer is Sarah Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be mistaken, and if I'm mistaken, I will have everything correct up on screen, and I will link to everything down below. Yeah, so that's what I did, and I'm still working on my friend's shawl that is supposed to become the colors of the asexual flag, and I'm into the 3rd of color out of 4. I started this one initially, but then there was a yarn snafu, and yeah, so I had to wait for more yarn to come in, and well, replacement yarn to come in, and it was fine. It got fixed. Everything's fine. So yeah, now I'm knitting the 3rd color, and this one goes a bit faster because this is 8/6 cotton, so the thicker one, and that's being knit on 4mm needles. So that goes a bit faster at least, because I felt like that one took quite a long time. Also, this really hurt my hands a lot. I feel like the other one on 4mm needles is actually okay, but on I mean, you think that 3.75mm versus 4 isn't much of a difference at all. But yeah, this still really hurt my hands. And normally my hands don't hurt knitting unless I'm like doing something ridiculous like knitting an iron weight on 3.25mm needles for some kind of amigurumi, and it has to be like really, really tight. But I feel like that is like an obvious thing. But yeah, so that was weird, and we'll avoid that cotton in the future. I also feel like cotton isn't much my thing for knitting. And yeah, so this is the last color that I will join after this white. I feel like this is a really, really lovely purple, so there is that. And then what I was knitting when I was at the wee yarn company, I've not gotten far at all, but I feel like I might knit a little bit more on this. Because this is actual wool and it does not hurt my hands. So I think that will be a nice change and a nice break for my hands, because I can absolutely get the shawl finished because I don't see my friend till my birthday on the 24th, and it is now, what, the 10th? So I can absolutely get that finished by then. It's only 2 more colors, and I did like literally half of the shawl in, I think, 2 or 3 days. So that should be fine. But yeah, I am knitting the Linden vest, and I've only just started. So yeah, I'm not even done with the ribbing yet. This is 1x1 rib. I know like people are talking that, like saying that twisted rib is nicer, but I've just like briefly looked into it, and I've not found a YouTube tutorial like explaining it well for a way that my brain understands it, how twisted rib works. So I'm just going to do this entire project 1x1 rib also, because I have zero interest in like taking the sole off and starting all over. And also, yes, I have a stitch marker every 10 stitches because less likely that there's gonna be like mistakes that way. Well, for me personally. So if you also have like a lot of counting errors and concentration errors, because it's easy to keep track, just count like to 10 and to 10 and to 10. I would really advise this, not just for casting on, but just for knitting as well. It really, really helps. Can be a bit, you know, complicated when, well, not super complicated when you're like adding stitches, but just like move markers, you know? Yeah, so I've got everything in here that is still left over. That is, I feel like, a serious dent in what it was, because this was like pretty full and now it is not full. Also, I got some buttons. Not sure how well they'll show up, but I got buttons for my cardigan. I really, really like these because they're like a flower pattern. They're not super big, so I'll probably have to make an extra buttonhole, but I really like how they look, so that's okay. And this was a lot cheaper than buying buttons on Veritas. But I am also going to knit, like later this year, a different shade of brown one, because I've got Pumpkin Spice, also by Wild Atlantic Yarns, also in this Oonagh. And then I've got this guy in basically oranges. So I'm gonna knit another one. And then I want to get like these metal flower buttons. And I used to get them at La Droguerie in Lille. But if they don't have them in La Droguerie, they also have them in a yarn shop in Antwerp. So, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, so if I don't get them in La Droguerie, if I don't go to Lille before I start knitting that one, I can also get them in Antwerp. So I'm not worried about getting the buttons that I want. So that is great. I will say what I like about this cotton is that I don't feel like I need to block this or block this very hard, because it goes quite pointy by itself. I mean, it's not like a super sharp point, but it works. If I wanted to, I could wear this. And I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm gonna put this in the box, because Joop's been patrolling for it. I mean, just wait for Joop and his thievery. And then my final project I've been working on. I know that like a couple of videos and shorts ago, I've mentioned other projects, but they're not active whips, so I'm just not gonna mention them till I actually knit on them. But yeah, this is the second part of the sleeve shawl. I have not made a lot of progress, but I do take this with me when I go to physical therapy and stuff. And usually this is also my cafe knitting projects, but when I'm knitting shawls, especially shawls that don't have a lot of stitch markers, although I have been going walkabout with garter abysses in the past as well. Yeah, so shawls I tend to take to a cafe and stuff as well. But yeah, this is just like very small and very practical, and this also has a lot of stitch markers for aforementioned reasons. And yeah, eventually this will be the second sleeve of the sleeve scarf, and I will be able to assemble the damn thing. So that is great. And I just realized I also finished a top, and I shall now go get that. This had actually completely slipped my mind because I finished this end of June, and so I was talking about like July knitting updates, like following up from my last video, which was my July knitting plans. So I feel like I'm doing quite well because I've got like over 1.5 projects out of 3 done, and of course that sleeve scarf is just ongoing forever and ever. But yeah, I finished this late June, like right at the end of June. I think the 30th even. 30th, yeah. So this is a Hedwig top by Fable Knitwear, and I knit this in Hobie cotton silk because yeah, I felt like that might be a good idea, because initially I felt that the Fil d'Arfil Rustique that I used before was not the correct yarn, but I've grown to appreciate it, especially because it's like really light when it's really hot. But yeah, so I knit this following pattern, but I made this adjustment where I put some ribbing in the back to give it a little bit more stability. I actually did the seat stitch on these, but I didn't knit the straps continuously. I made them so I can dye them because I think that's cute. I knit the ruffle, but I didn't do the bit that scrunches up the side here. And the thing is, the pattern calls for if every 5 centimeters for X amount of more centimeters in the pattern, you're supposed to add a stitch in the sides. And I did that, so I did those increases for the first time because I didn't do it before, and the one before actually is very flattering, but this, if I wear this on its own like a top, this is just, because this is the reason I'm not trying it on, because it's an unflattering potato bag. I don't know what happened. I feel like it's either, because this has been blocked, it's either the yarn or it's just a pattern, because my other one, I just ignored those increases completely and knit it straight, and that does not have that problem. But I am confident that this will actually be nice as like a wacky sweater vest. So, I mean, I hope. I've not tried it because it's been too hot to try it, but that is my hope at least, so there is some saving. Well, I'll tell you, if you're watching this, if this is not nice as a sweater vest, this will be yours. So yeah. It will be nice and loose and oversized and cozy and comfy. But yeah, I keep it rolled up so it doesn't get like lines in it. I do that with the other one as well. So yeah. I quite like the cotton though. It's very soft. It was very pleasant to knit with. This one did not hurt my hands, but it's, I think, 60% cotton and 40% silk. I will again have it up on screen if I'm incorrect, but yeah. Quite like it. Actually, initially I looked at this to knit a shawl when I couldn't get the, because I mentioned this in my last video as well, when I couldn't get the scheepjes cotton I wanted without having to pay loads of shipping, I looked at this and that didn't have the colors I wanted. So I ended up getting the Friends one, because I'm not made of money, and 20 plus euros in shipping to get cotton from like 3 different shops just to avoid getting them from Hobie is sadly not within my price range. But yeah, so yeah, my knitting budget for this month is gone. I've put it into indie dyed skeins. So yeah, but that's fine because I have everything for this month's knitting and for next month's knitting and for a lot of projects I want to still knit this year, so not being able to buy more yarn is fine, actually. I should not buy more yarn. I have enough yarn. And that's really it for this video. Please don't forget to hydrate because it is so hot. If you're in the same hemisphere as me, you're also suffering through summer, and hydration is key, my dudes. How do you like my ghost mug? This is from Hema from 2 years ago. Isn't it adorable? Absolutely love it. Making sure that it doesn't fall down because I don't think they'll ever bring it back, and I will be so sad if that breaks. But yeah, that is all my knitting updates. That's everything I've got ongoing and finished, and I don't think I've ever been able to show like a shawl and an actual finished garment in one video. I might turn into a real knitter yet. And I've definitely not shown a finished Warhammer 40k model, so there's that. And as far as you can call him finished, because between you and I, his backpack and his arm and his head need gluing on. So there is that. But I haven't got super glue either. I am the worst modeler ever. Next model I'm gonna paint is Trazin the Infinite, or better said, as me and my friends like to call him, Trazin the Infinite Kleptomaniac. If you know, you know. But he's very funny and he collects things. AKA, he's a metal undead robot and he goes around thieving. He should be introduced to Joop. He's in a pod, but not really. Also, he's fake. Joop is thankfully not. But anyway, I digress. I hope you enjoyed this video. My things to watch recommendation. I'm still on K-pop Demon Hunters because I really enjoyed that. Actually, I can't think of anything because it's really hot. I'm sweating like a proverbial pig with that studio light. And it's 26 degrees in my house. I have no air conditioning on or like a fan because of the annoying noise, and it was annoying when I was editing, so I can't even imagine how annoying it was for you guys having to listen to it. So I was like, I'm gonna leave it off, but now my brain is completely cooked. So why don't you guys leave a to watch recommendation for me in the comments down below, or just leave a comment on this video. If you do leave a comment, please be kind. Well, maybe as for music recommendations, I've been really enjoying the Grimdark Tavern, which is very niche because it's 40k inspired metal and tavern songs, but seriously, amazing. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already and you want to stick around for more fiber arts randomness. Sometimes there's journaling as well, but it's mostly knitting, etc. There might actually be more Warhammer miniature painting in the future. We need to start by buying super glue though, and a couple of extra brushes, definitely fine brushes. And also a magnifying glass for painters, because that will make my life so much easier. But yeah, so they are coming, but they might be as slow coming as journaling updates. Anyway, hit that notification bell to be sure, because apparently that is the new subscribe button, but you do still need both. I don't even know what YouTube gets up to these days. So yeah, like, especially if you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things. Please, it would really help me out. And yeah, you have already seen cute cats and a cute corgi. I mean, how adorable is Ross's Winnie? Oh, she's so sweet. Like, the first thing she did, like literally the first thing was like kiss my hand. And I was, oh my god, kisses. I feel so honored. I did. But yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! This is the face of a cat who has just been told that the yarn is in fact not for him.